This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. This podcast is going to be so incredibly relatable. I don't think there's anybody that can say that they've never done this before. It's something that holds you back from things that you really want. It's frustrating at the same time. I'm referring to procrastination. We all do it from time to time. Why? What's going on there? Why do we put things off? We're going to dig deep into that, and that's all part of your transformation, courtesy of her. She is a transformational life coach, our professional of the year, with so much insight. And we're going to get deep into this today with Donna Day back with us. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic. And I don't think I've ever done a podcast on procrastination. Not to say that I was procrastinating on that. Just saying, it just never presented. But it's real for all of us. Anybody that says, I've never procrastinated, you're lying. I know you are. There's just no way. And there's many different reasons. Should we start with the reasons why a lot of us put things off?
Yeah. I mean, ones that I, identify with a bunch of my clients when it comes to procrastination is, one that's huge, fear of not being good enough, perfectionism. Everyone, tends to put things off because, they just don't feel like they're good enough to actually do it. And they're kind of scared to step up and try because it's unknown, and then the feeling of overwhelm, it's kind of like trying to eat the elephant in one bite and it gets, it holds you back. Also the lack of clarity. So not knowing the next actionable step to take. And the last one, I mean, there's tons, but these are the top, 4 for me, are like the hidden payoffs, the safety of staying stuck instead of taking that leap.
These are all real. Fear of failure is a big one. I realized something recently in me in terms of procrastination. I'm going to be honest here. And it was always in the past fear of failing. But then I more closely identified it when I started thinking about it. This is literally in the last couple of weeks. Anything recently that I've kind of held off and I haven't really dove into, it's fear of failing, but it's not what you might think. It's fear of failing myself.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
It's different than just, I don't want to make, I don't want this to fail. I'll feel bad. Yeah. It's more of me having expectations and I'm failing my own expectations of what I expected. And, all different reasons for that. I'm not surprised, based on our childhoods and things like that. But that's something I have to work through.
I mean, that's something that I'm working through. And I actually have one of my fellow coach friends helping me be like a partner and believing to push me to do it. So it's virtual workshops, like online instead, because I love doing in person. I'm very that's my comfort zone. So doing like an online one, for some reason, I just am I keep pulling myself back. It's time to do it. So she's helping me. And my first one we put in the book as January 6th. So I'm going to hold myself to it. But it's been something since I've been a transformational life coach that I've just been so timid about, and I have no idea why.
You're here now.
I know.
What are we doing?
I don't know, but that's what, procrastination and fear can do to you, especially, as you were saying, letting yourself down. I know how comfortable and how natural it is for me with being in person and doing these events and those events. I just feel like I might not benefit people as well through the computer, and I don't want that to be an aspect.
Yeah, I could see that because maybe you feel disconnected.
Yeah.
Because it's virtual, and I understand it. And maybe you feel that you're not going to hit the mark with them because there's a slight technical, like a disconnect. You're not in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, you're
It's silly though. I know.
nothing silly. It's you won't know until you try it. But I don't
Exactly.
even have any doubts that you can't bring it on. Just doing it in a virtual world.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Wow. What else? What are some of the other things that hold us back? What do you think?
I mean that there's so much there that things that can hold you back. Like we were talking about ourselves. It could also because let's say your schedule seems so full and packed. So instead of prioritizing things, you just use that as the excuse because everyone has the same amount of time in every day.
Yep.
So everyone can, utilize that time and you choose how to utilize it. So time is one of those things that plays a huge factor in procrastination because it's one of those things that you can kind of say, no, I have no time, even if you could technically make time. But it's like that squeeze.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you'll find any excuse, and
Yeah.
really, what it comes down to, I think, is the basics, and that's feeling safe and comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Because for both of us here, a little uncomfortable, like don't want to fail yourself, don't want a virtual workshop to fail. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather not, and I'll just feel comfortable and safe. But
Yeah.
nothing happens when you're riding in that car.
Exactly, and that's the whole point of, everyone's internal like thermostat, that everyone regulates at a certain number. And it's about slowly taking those baby step actions outside to like, raise that number so you can, branch into new things. But the thing is that your fears and overwhelm and anxiety and all those things will pull you back in so you're in your comfort zone and you have to kind of like motivate yourself to push out. And that's why life coaches are great because they can help you do that. And trust me, I'm having one of my life coach friends help me with this, so even as a life coach.
Well, you said something before, and I find it so true. Clarity, writing
Yes.
it down, maybe even creating a blueprint, a roadmap of what you need to do to accomplish whatever the goal is,
Mhm.
because our minds try to process things. It's like, the virtual workshop. I don't know. So I got to make sure I have a Zoom account, and it's got to be not the free one because it's got to be at least, over 40 minutes. And then we got this, and then I got to worry about that. And then if you write it down, and,
Yeah.
and this is for anything, myself is
Yeah.
included, you get a better view, and it doesn't look so, I guess, scary, daunting anymore.
Exactly. Like it's checklist. You just kind of start marking down like the steps, which are considered the actions that you're going to take, and don't do them all at once. Do them one at a time. Like that's how you make time and get things moving and momentum. Like you were saying, like for instance, I mean, I have the Zoom account, but let's say I didn't. One day I get that Zoom account,
Yep.
that's one step. The next step, learning how to set up, meetings and maybe having a co-host, the next day. So like each day you build on top of it. So you're preparing yourself for that event or situation or goal or, because everything's different. It could even be something amazing like traveling out of the country for the first time. You're really nervous. So, I mean, it could be anything. It doesn't actually have to be something that you feel is more of like a negative challenge. It could be a positive challenge as well.
Hmm. All right. So I can relate to what you just said. And I shared a while back that I traveled solo for the first time this year.
Hmm.
Of course, I put it off. I would put it off like, man, I'll wait on that. I'll wait on that. And I did take a trip and did a transformational retreat, but I traveled with others, but they're basically strangers, but I was still in the company of others. Um, but then that was last year. Then this year, I did put it off at the beginning of the year, but I'm going to get a pass on that one. I'm going to take a pass on that one because my intuition said, wait.
Oh, well, you should always listen to your inner voice.
And I'm glad I did because I was going to travel alone, but I was going to meet up with somebody there who was just going to show me, I'm staying at he said, I'm staying at this place for a little while. Airbnb, you could stay in the same complex. There's, something here, whatever. He even said you could stay with me, no problem, but that's not traveling alone. So my intuition said, don't do it. And I even had plane tickets in the cart and I didn't. And I would go back and like, no. And as it turned out, shortly thereafter, he messaged me and said, yeah, man, I'm glad you didn't come down here. It's in another country. We lose power all day long. And it's steaming hot. Like, you made a good choice. I'm like, okay, dodge that one. And I waited probably 6 months after that and went. He was there in another spot. And honestly, I didn't even hang with him. I said, we had a beer once, which was great because it's just like I felt a little more comfortable, but I was still doing my own thing alone. And then 3 months after that, I went back again and it was completely by myself. And I want to go again in another 3 months.
Yeah.
It's dirt cheap. And I found peace. That is my peace. Regrets. I regret not doing it sooner, but I guess we can't have regrets. But, why did I worry about it? It all came together.
Yeah.
To look at it. So not regret, just do it.
Everything happens in like divine timing, or you could say the right time, so there's always a reason why there is some type of delay or some type of block, because at that moment you're not aligned with that specific thing. So never feel bad about it, have guilt or resent. Just know that if it's meant for you, it will come to you in time, no matter what. So that's like one way to look at it. And it is true. When I started to finally surrender to that like idea, things have totally opened up.
I'm looking at that in like different ways.
Yeah.
I guess go with your intuition, but I think the other part of it is too, you got to really want it.
Yeah.
You got to really want it.
You got to have that like fire under you,
Yeah.
And if that fire is not there, it's probably not the right time. That's what I always tell my clients. Like when they're presented with something, it could be a job. It could be, a trip somewhere. It could be some type of grand opportunity or even something minor. And I always ask them, my first question is, like, how does that make you feel? And if they're like, I'm like, is it something you want to do? If they hesitate on that, yes, I'm like, it's not their time to do it right then. Because if they really, really, really wanted it, they'd be like, oh my God, yeah, I could see myself here and doing this and I can't wait. I'm so excited. But even if they say, I'm nervous, I'm not sure, but that excitement is still there. If there's that kind of like, I'm not sure, and just kind of like there's no fire under it, it's just not the right time. Doesn't mean there won't be a right time for it, but that's just, everything pointing in the direction that like there's something better that aligns with you more at this time.
I'm just going to say that's not a pass not to do it. I'm just,
No.
well, it doesn't align with me. I completely agree with you. There was a reason that I couldn't click that button to buy those tickets. I processed it. I listened. But we can't always use excuses for procrastination.
Oh, no, definitely not.
I have a friend who uses this one. He says, oh, yeah, I'll get it done. I work better under pressure, so I'll just wait for the deadline. It's just an excuse to just put it off a little bit more.
Yeah, no, there's always, little things, but the thing that gets people to actually take that step is when they, kind of have that excitement underneath it. If they don't, then without some motivation or some other thing coming into play, they're going to be more hesitant and they're going to be, more likely to stay where they currently are in their comfort zone.
So let's talk about what we can do to prevent you from procrastinating. Now, you said before, bite it off into small chunks. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So, there's that, because we look at this whole big sum of what we want to accomplish. Oh, I can't do that. So break it off into little pieces. What are some of the other things? Maybe minimize distractions. So many of us, we grab the phone. I'll get to that. Or, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'm going to watch a movie on Netflix tonight. Maybe that, how about things that we can do to minimize procrastination?
Yeah. I mean, some of the tools and practical steps that I use and I share with others is one is micro commitments, which we kind of touched on. So it's
Mm,
like breaking your goals into ridiculously easy steps. So if it takes less than 5 minutes to do it, then do it. For example, like if let's say you're writing a book, aim to write 100 words instead of like 4 or 5 chapters. You know what I mean? Because that's more attainable at the time. And then you keep doing that, and eventually you have a whole book, you know?
mm.
So that's one. The other one I use is the 5 second rule. So it's like the moment you notice resistance, you just count backwards: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you kind of like it's like ripping the band-aid, and then you like go. So it helps you take that micro action, whether it's making a phone call or an email or posting something, and that's when you shift the energy for the action to happen. It's just taking that moment to pause. It's almost like what we were talking about when you take time to yourself, even if it's 5 minutes a day. It just kind of gets you in gear. And then there's accountability anchors. So that's like what I'm doing right now. Have like a partner in believing, or share having a buddy or a mentor or a coach, because it helps increase the follow through,
Mm.
so which, like I said, I'm in the process of doing myself. And another key thing is celebrate every win. Momentum builds when you reward anything that you do, not just the full results. Any little step that you do, it's like, oh my God, I actually completed that today. Like if we go back to the Zoom example, like, yes, I actually got that Zoom account. So I'm one step closer. It doesn't have to be any huge celebration. It's just kind of like putting that vibration out there. Because when it's higher, it, kind of creates that momentum and that energy for you to keep moving towards it instead of away from it.
I totally agree. We never go like this, pat the back. You're like, oh, you pulled that off. That's step
Yeah.
one, step two. And we've talked before about forgiveness and how important it is to move your life forward, especially forgiving yourself. I think this also applies to forgive yourself for past procrastination. Instead of keep beating yourself up, put that in the past and then start moving forward.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's even an affirmation that I got from school that kind of helps with that about forgiveness. So it's actually kind of funny. See, they gave us little cards.
Oh, wow.
So it's the forgiveness affirmation, and you can either do it for another person, like if you're trying to forgive someone, or for yourself. So it's like, I forgive myself completely. I free myself from my past. I accept healing now, and you could do it for other people. I forgive you completely. I free you from our past. I accept healing now. It just kind of puts that vibration out there.
Hmm. This one's going to be a little deep, but it just popped in my head. We talk about our purpose
Hmm.
and why we're here and why we do what we do, but maybe look at your procrastination and how it aligns with your purpose. Like you're procrastinating on this workshop. However, it's all in line with your purpose. So there's more fuel to move it forward. So maybe
Yeah.
see, and maybe what's your why? Not what we're talking about with you, but just in general. I'm procrastinating. What's my why? Not why I'm procrastinating. Why should I be doing this? Even if it's cleaning the house, I'm procrastinating.
Yeah.
Why should I clean? Why, well, I got, holiday company coming over and there was a snowstorm and my floors are white right now from salt and sand. Truth. And,
Yeah.
but maybe look at how it aligns with your purpose and your why. Maybe to look at that. Yeah, it just popped in my head.
You just nailed it. I mean, that's one of the key first steps of transformation in general is why? Like, why am I doing this? Why do I see myself here? Why,
Mm.
that's the number one thing. If you don't have a why, there's nothing to like kind of fuel you. That is your fuel, is the why. And then it's that vision, those two together are the most powerful motivators. Even if it comes to cleaning the house, like you said for the holidays, like right now the floors are completely all white and everything. And like that's why like I love the house to look beautiful for all the family and da da da. And then you start visioning it with, like the meal on the table and everyone gathered and like whatever traditions. And so by having the why, it brings that vision and then it brings that motivation for you to keep pushing forward, because you kind of build up your own excitement and it's cool.
I love the vision. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but yes, visualize what you want.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be that project at work that you're putting off. Well, visualize it being done. Visualize the feeling of completion. Visualize what that's going to feel like. That, I did it and it came out really well. I'm good. Now I can move on to the next thing. And so funny with that trip that I took over the summer.
Yeah.
I did visualize it and I had a realization the second time I went. Little woo here, but I'm looking at the ocean, I'm staring around at everything, and I said, all the pieces of this puzzle are where they should be. And then it just like bing hit me. I basically manifested where I was. The Airbnb, the little teeny tiny restaurant that nobody was at, so it was nice and quiet because I went there for peace. All of these little things, it's exactly what I envisioned. So I did have the vision. I just put it off.
You had the vision, and it didn't happen like right away,
right?
But it did all come together. It comes, at that perfect timing.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, just in terms of the intuition and the vision, when I wasn't pressing the button in the cart for the plane tickets, I was going to a different part of this island and the one where it loses power. That wouldn't have been what I envisioned.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what was holding me back as well. I don't know.
See, you can always connect the dots of why certain things happen when they happen. You may not know it right at that moment, but that's part of bringing clarity in and awareness. And it's like, wow.
I'm not looking for reasons. I'm just processing what transpired.
Exactly.
But that was it. It was in a totally other side of the island. I would have been there probably miserable where I was. There would have been no air conditioning, no electric and everything. Any final thoughts on procrastination?
So just that, every big transformation starts with one small brave choice, and procrastination may protect you from discomfort, but it can never deliver your dream. So today, try to choose progress over progression and watch your confidence soar and see what happens in life.
It feels good. It feels good. You walk that journey with others in their transformation, whether it's procrastination or whatever. How do we connect with you, Donna?
The best way to set up a call with me is my website, which is www.donnadaytlc.com. You can also email me at donnadaytlc@gmail.com, or you can give me a call or text me at 201-719-6991.
Always love your positivity and your insight. Like your positivity, the vibration is like off the scale. It's real. It's like a cloudy day and the sun comes out when you're here. Thank you for today, and get that workshop done.
Yeah, I'm going to work on it, and I will let everyone know. Thanks,
Beautiful.
guys.
All right. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.